All right, we're going to go over the installation of the Mossberg JM Pro drop-in trigger assembly. I always recommend that when you do work on a gun, you have it done by a qualified gunsmith. So you might want to have your gunsmith refer to this video, installation video. So here we go. We got an empty chamber. Kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. We'll check the trigger pull on a stock modern sporting rifle. This is a original equipment trigger, and let's see what we have here. Let's pull it a couple times, see what we go. We got 6 pounds 14 ounces, and let's do another one. 6 pounds 5 ounces, so it's over 6 pounds, about 6.5 pounds. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop in the JM trigger. It's competition trigger. Anytime you alter a trigger, you also might alter the reliability with one specific ammunition. I've had good success with it with just about any ammunition that I've found available. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to release the hammer from the sear so it's in the fire position. And on this grip assembly, you're going to need an Allen key, an Allen wrench to take it apart. Some of them have screwdriver slots, some have Allen. And I'm just going to put a cheater on it right quick, break it loose, and we'll take it out. So one thing you want to be really careful of is there's going to be a spring and a plunger here that works the safety lever, and those have a tendency to get lost really easily. So we're going to get the screw completely loose of the grip assembly, and I'll spin it around and show you that spring assembly. You'll notice right here is the safety lever, and right on top of it is a spring plunger assembly. So when I go to remove the grip, you'll see the spring starting to show. And so that's the grip and the spring. We'll keep them together. And there's a little plunger in here. Very important that you do not lose that, or the safety will not work correctly. Let's tap him out. There's the plunger. Those have a tendency to fly around, get lost very easily. So we got those two separated. Next we're going to do is take the safety out. Let's see, might have to cock it on this one. Yep, had to cock it back. I'm going to release the hammer again. And now I'm going to go ahead and release the hammer from the frame. Just get you a bench block or some kind of a spacer there and just tap it out. So that's one pin, and when you pull that pin, of course, the hammer is going to come out under some spring pressure, and that's out. The next pin is what holds the sear and the trigger bar in. There again, it's got a little bit of a spring detent to it. And release it. And there's the trigger mechanism that we're going to change out. So, let's go ahead and get the JM trigger. All right, one of the very unique features of this JM Pro trigger is that the sear assembly is on the back of the hammer. If you look at the hammer that came out of the rifle, the OEM part, the sear is really close to the pivot pin. And when you relocate that surface to the back of the hammer, it's probably 10 times less amount of energy it needs to release it. So if you notice on this hammer, the sear is on the back and not underneath it. It really makes for a light, consistent, durable trigger pull. And that's the key to the thing. It's going to last a long time, a lot less stress on the sear hammer engagement as you would with the conventional hammer and sear engagement. All right, we're going to leave it in the cocked position and just drop it into the receiver assembly as so. And I'm going to go ahead and put the safety in right now. Make sure it's going to go through. And okay, we'll leave that in the fire position. I got the trigger in. And let's go ahead and get the pins inserted. Let's see if I can do this where you can see it. Yep. And these are made for the small pins receivers, which is probably the most common receiver out there on the market now. And I've got the safety back in position, so I'm just going to check it. I'm going to put it on safe and pull the trigger, and it's not firing, so I'll go into the firing position. I also want to restrain the hammer from hitting the frame with the finger to make sure it's working. Put it back on safe, try it again. So the safety appears to be working in this position. So let's go ahead and reassemble. I'm going to reassemble it where you can watch what I'm doing here. Got the safety all the way in again. Drop the plunger in, point down. You notice it has the plunger has a flat side and a pointy side. So the pointy side goes toward the safety as such. And I'm gonna, there goes the screw and the spring. Okay, that's what I want to do. Put the spring in the grip again and align it with the plunger as such. Gotta get it in line. So a little bit of attention to detail. Now the spring is directly on top of the plunger. So when I put the grip all the way in, it's not going to compress the spring other than straight toward the plunger. And while I was talking to you, it slipped out of position. So let's do that again. Okay. Everything's in line. Go ahead with the grip. Now this one, of course, had an Allen key on it. So we're going to go back with the screw for the grip assembly. This might take a little bit of a... All right, so we're back. You want to pay attention that when you start this grip screw in, you don't get it cross-threaded. That one, I'm doing it by spring pressure, just by finger pressure, so I know that it's not cross-threaded. We'll just bring it on down till it just about bottoms the grip there. Check the safety again. We're on safe, pull the trigger. Of course, it's not firing, and go back to the fire position a few times. Go through the selector, make sure you hear that detent working. That's telling me the plunger is operating correctly, and it's going to retain that safety in the right position, and that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and finish tightening up the grip. I'm going to put about the same amount of effort that I felt when I disassembled it, which is not too technical at all, but something about like that. And so there it is, it's installed. So what I'm going to do is put it back on the upper receiver, put it back on safe, put it back together real quick, and it's on safe. Worked the bolt a few times. Okay, I'm going to leave it on fire, work the bolt a few times. Yep, there you go, guys. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and check the trigger pull weight. And these are actually adjustable. They have an adjustment feature on them also, but this is the way it came out of the box. So let's just take a look at that. Usually I run them the way they come out of the box, which is about, that's 210. I'm going to have to keep this trigger for me. That's a nice one. Oh, I had it wrong on the first one. Let me, 3 pound 8. And 3 pound 7. The first time I had it, I didn't have it located on the trigger in the right position. And that's something you have to do when you do a trigger pull, is to get it in the center of the trigger. So it's breaking at about 3 pounds 7 ounces out of the box. So usually what I'll do, I'll run them about this setting, and they seem to get a little bit lighter and smoother with a little use. So there you have it, guys, the Mossberg JM Pro drop-in trigger. Get some.